remain the name of the game. And we did actually see one high-profile, prolific tweeter, of course, that being Elon Musk of Tesla, tweeting about inflation last night. He tweeted, quote, "What are your thoughts about probable inflation rate over the next few years?" Kind of probably not a rhetorical question, probably trying to solicit some feedback. But, you know, here at Yahoo Finance, we do like to try to answer those questions if we can, at least. And we do have an answer from at least the New York Fed via some fresh data released just about 4 minutes ago. Actually, this is the updated chart of median 3-year ahead expected inflation rates. And again, Americans, as according to those that they polled over at the New York Fed, are expecting annual inflation at a pace of 3.8% over the next 3 years. What's interesting is that despite the kind of commentary that we've been getting about inflation being a much more elevated concern as of the last few months, up until February, the later parts of 2021 had actually shown people maybe expecting less inflation than they were in the middle to late parts of the fall last year.
And it shows absolutely how mind-numb most people are that trade stocks, crypto, and alike, and why they don't stack up a single ounce of precious metals, and why they continuously only have crypto even though it has no actual revenue. There's no way to actually make money on crypto like gold and silver. You just have to have some dummy pay more than you bought. So until the time's right, continue to say what you want, do what you will. Continue to tell yourself that we're in a bull market, even though we've been in a bear market in crypto for a very, very long time. And I'll continue to have a bearish sentiment while we're in a bear market. And if you can't deal with that, you're in the wrong damn channel.
But again, that ticking back up between January and February, according to the New York Fed, again, 3.8% now, the expected inflation. We'll see if that leads to unanchored inflation expectations as we do head towards that Fed meeting on Wednesday. Of course, that is going to be the big focus of a lot of those watching the markets, including Michael Darda, MKM Partners chief economist and macro strategist, who is watching this space very closely. Michael, it's great to have you on the program. In the face of these rising prices, the expectation is for the Fed to raise interest rates by 25 basis points, which raises the question, what is that going to do to inflation? Is that really substantial enough in your view?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. The 25 basis points is a completely foregone conclusion. It is fully priced in, and a succession of rate hikes after that are fully priced in for the year. Despite all of that, we still have elevated inflation expectations. So you were talking about some of the survey numbers. They're certainly well below the current rates of inflation. So we're not seeing, 8% expected inflation for 3, 4, 5+ years. But if you look at the TIPS market, the bond market, the expectations have taken a jump higher. At a 5-year horizon, we're pushing 200 basis points above the average of the last cycle. At the 10-year horizon, it's somewhat less, about 100 basis points. Yet, markets expect the policy rate to peak below the peak of the last cycle, right? So it might sound like a lot to assume that 5 or 7 rate hikes are priced in this year, but it's all front-loaded. The expectations are that'll be pretty close to it, and the Fed will not get the policy rate much above 2%, if that. And I think those are the expectations that we could see start to move here as the recovery goes forward and as we see updated Fed forecasts.
So, Michael, you
Good morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast in the United States of America. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, like we talked about yesterday, guys, remember when I told everybody I'm liquidated out of gold and silver and every commodity stock except for Commerce Resource, and there's a reason. Commerce Resource stuck on a bull flag. And if it goes down, it goes down, but my targeted move hasn't been hit yet. The rest of them, my targeted move had been hit. Gold, as I showed you guys a beautiful rendition yesterday, you should understand exactly what's going on. We have the short-term uptrend and then the long-term uptrend, which means As long as gold broke this uptrend, we have a solid buying opportunity at around 1850 to confirm the uptrend if it decides to take that route. If not, we will know that it's not taking that route because it would stay on the uptrend. Right now it broke below, and now if it hits the backside, you know it's going to be coming way down. And this is just what happens. This is what I told everybody. Don't buy gold and silver now because you want to buy it because it went up 30, 40% in some of the commodities, or gold was up to 2050 when I've been telling you to buy it since 1600. A lot of people jumped in after it got way to the top when I said that I was liquidated, and now they're pissed. That's the ironic thing. Don't buy when I tell you to. Buy after I'm already liquidated. Same thing happened with XRP. Don't buy the entire 400% up, keep swinging it, losing money, but then get mad at me when I go liquidate it, and now you're down 65% on XRP. Or 60%. So don't come into this house unless you have the facts straight, because I've been out ahead of this market for 6 fucking months. So when you come in here and piss and moan because that you don't understand, because you don't want to listen, or you just are too dumb to realize that we're in a bear market. And by being too dumb, that could mean you're too egotistical, right? You could be feeling too entitled, like bear markets can't touch you. You can be brainwashed. You can be gaslighted. You can be watching too much, the wrong YouTube. But the point is you're in a bear market in crypto. So, of course, I'm going to have a bearish sentiment. Anybody who says you always have a bearish overtone. Yeah, now. Did you watch me 9 months ago, 12 months ago when I first started, or 11 and a half months ago? The biggest bullish overtone you could ever see because we were bullish, guys. When we're bearish, I'm going to talk bearish. I'm not your parent. I'm your teacher. You want me to lie to you? You're going to be fucking liquidated. Go watch any other station. Any of them. So that's what we're looking at with gold. Don't get yourself caught up in a shitstorm because you're too dumb. Capiche? And by being too dumb, that could simply be not listening. The word dumb insinuates a lot of different things. It doesn't insinuate a smart person. You could be very smart, but when you let your emotions deal with you, you get too involved. Look at me. I'm the biggest backer of gold and silver. Did I hesitate to sell my commodities? Hell no. We hit all-time highs, and you can see we hit my line on the uptrend. I've drawn a very nice channel. That's the channel we're in, ladies and gentlemen. You can either get with it or you can lose all your money. I don't care. I'm going to throw you the charts, and I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. And if you can't deal with it, understand it, or are an adult enough to put it into a position or not, well, that's your own fault. Maybe you shouldn't be swing trading or trading for that matter if you don't know how to trade. I'm here to be your guidance from a charting standpoint. If you can't make the trade, you shouldn't be trading. If you're going to blame somebody because you lose or make money, notice, when you make money, nobody's giving me credit. Or when you're saving money on the way down, nobody's giving me credit. It's the way up when you forget to buy back in or don't have the balls. Because remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. So why you would expect me to tell you to buy or sell? Maybe you should look up what a financial advisor is. I am not allowed by law to tell you to buy or sell. Do you understand that? I can't tell you by law to buy and sell because I am not a licensed financial advisor. What I can do is give you my opinion and my best interpretation of the market because I'm the best at it. I can give you the time-tested technical analysis for you to do what you will. But if you're not doing the proper things, look no farther than yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you're a pansy. Get with it. Trust yourself. Stop blaming others, and I guarantee you'll be a much more successful trader. The long holdler, the you're going to miss out, the I'm afraid it's going to go to $1 million or $1,000 overnight. Come on, guys. Enough of that garbage. You're watching too much YouTube, and if you still believe that nonsense, you obviously don't give me enough credit, or you're just in here to tickle your own fancy, and then when things, you'll go watch somebody else so that they can tickle your sensitive spots. That's what I'm saying, guys. Don't get caught up because you're too caught up, or you're too embarrassed to admit that you were wrong and we are honestly in a bear market. Don't get caught up with that, and don't act like it's not happening. A lot of people I've noticed lose a lot of money because they just don't want to admit they were wrong. I'm sorry, not everybody can have the foresight to call a bear market when XRP's at $1.66. XRP's at 76 cents We're just as much in a bear market now as we were then, even worse. And now we're coming to here, guys. This is it. This is what I talked about. This is your X marks the spot. If you're going to make a run, you have to hold 74, this X spot. But right now, I don't know if we're going to. And if we break down, and you can call this bearish overtone, you can call him the bearish bullshitter, you can call me whatever you want. The point is this is factual. And if we break down past this, we're most likely coming to 63 cents minimum. Unless we get lucky, have a wick down to here at 67 cents, and somehow bounce back up. You know what's going to happen if we break through here and do this? We're going to start to do this. Then we're going to come down here, and then we're just going to work our way down anyhow. So that's what's going on. What did I do? Pull my charger out? Hold on one second. What the hell? Hold on. I'm just going to pause this so you guys don't have to hear it. Okay, there we go. So, that's all I'm saying with XRP, guys. Understand what you're looking at. Understand that we are in a very, very bearish pattern. And if you want to continue to tell yourself we're in a bull market, by all means, guys, I don't even care. You do what you want. You can do it however you want. But if you want real help beyond these schlubs on YouTube, hey, everybody. Look at me on this early morning. Early morning. You guys get to see me for a little bit. Hello. Oh, I'm gone now. But no, you guys get to see me for a split second. So, but yeah. So you guys can tell yourself what you want. But if you want real help and you want my opinion, if you really want my help and you trust what I'm doing, Tom's Army, $9.99 a month. Enough of this YouTube garbage. If you want real help, stop asking the question in the comments, because honestly, with the way the YouTube comments are, I'm starting to not look at them as much. All I have it set for is my subscribers. If you're not subscribed to my channel, your comment doesn't even show up to me, FYI. So, by all means, if you're not subscribed to the channel, say whatever the hell you want. I don't even see it. But this is the Telegram. We have 262 people. We got a new member last night. 262 minds that can tell you what's going on in current market setup. We have a lot of people that read charts, a lot of people that understand what's going on. If you need help with precious metals, I have my commodity section. We have 86 people. It's a place where we can come in. I can tell you guys some information and tell you what I'm doing in commodities. Other than that, if you're not part of the Telegram for $9.99 a month and you're complaining over the YouTube, well, I don't even know what to tell you. That just means you're not even dedicated to your own profession to learn. So don't come blaming somebody else when you can't keep your ducks in a row. I'm so far out ahead of this market, it would make you sick. In fact, I'm so far out ahead of the market. Am I not the guy who told everybody to take a put out on fuel cell when it got up to $7? 6.30. Remember when it was at 6.30 and I said start building these puts up from $6.30 right here at this resistance? Because if it breaks over it, it's going to be a fake out. Well, I bought it from here all the way up for an average of $10.75 on fuel cell. I have 83 of them. And now fuel cell is down to $5.70. I was up 43% yesterday on my options. My $800 has turned into over $1,100 now because I was down a little bit from when it went up and spiked. These are good until the end of July. If this hits the $2 level, I'm going to show you guys why there's so many opportunities besides crypto when you're in a bear market. And that was a huge opportunity. All these were huge opportunities that I showed everybody, these commodities. I showed PBR when it was making the run. And then what did I do? I told you right before it dropped, a couple days before. So you might have missed 3 or 4% on the very, very top on some of them, or 2% like I did. But you sold out when gold was at 2,070, right? Right when it hit that top. And some commodities still had some little runs. Right when it hit this top, we were out. It came up here. I think this is where I sold. The second time it came up and missed at 2059. It was failed. You could see it 2 days in a row. It failed. I got out. We proceeded, and everybody's like, well, how could you sell out? It's the same thing you did with crypto. You're going to miss it all. Yeah, you're right. Now we're down 7% in the last 4 days. But yes, I want to be a part of that, right? Because I want to be a part of this, everybody. I want to be a part of this loss. I was bragging to the riches about gold and silver when it was way down here. I told everybody, buy it. Buy silver. It's so fucking cheap. It was $21. And we had a double bottom. I told everybody it's on the symmetrical to triangle, right? I go, I don't know. I don't want to buy it. It looks bearish. That's the thing that makes me laugh. Gold and silver was bearish, but XRP was bullish. So nobody would buy gold and silver, which proceeded to rally 25% in a matter of what? In a matter of 2 months, 25%, while XRP was down better than 60%. Crypto was getting hammered. Now silver's retesting the top of the symmetrical. What do you think everybody's going to do? They bought it way up here, are holding it, and now they get rid of it during this huge, massive loss when I said do not even think about buying. And what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to buy when it gets down here to 23.86? Oh, no. No, they're going to let it fall right there, and they're not even going to worry about it. And then silver's going to be at $27, and it's going to be coming up to this cup. And then more people are going to start buying when it comes up here. Not during this, not during the spots where you should be buying. Just like with crypto, you're not buying the spots you should be buying. The long holder mentality is all horseshit in a bear market. Because let's face it, when every day you can buy 5 to 10% more, cheaper, how can you justify holding that position? Maybe not now. Maybe if you buy at 75 cents and it goes down to 52 cents, you don't have to buy. But when you buy at $1.60 and you're telling me you're holding it because you think XRP is going to be something special, you can't hold it to 75 cents and have that same long holder bullshit mentality and say, it's okay, I'm a long holder. No, it's not okay. You've just lost 60%, and at 75 cents, instead of having 10,000, now you could have like 25,000. So don't tell me it's okay. And don't act like you're doing something right and I'm doing something wrong, because the facts are, if you could read technical analysis, you wouldn't be part of the loss, and that's where the jealousy stems from. Get with it. Lose the jealousy. Join Tom's Army for $9.99 a month. I'll keep you 10 steps ahead because I understand the market and market structure. I also understand market rotation. I talked about the market rotation before gold, silver, and all of commodities went skyrocketing. Did I not? I also talked about before they crashed like no other, that they like to come back and retest old breakout points no matter how far down they are. Whether it's 30% down after a breakout, it always goes back there to confirm it because it has to get out the weak hands. And that's exactly what's going on. On the other hand, crypto always has fake runs because it knows there's so many people that can't understand technicals or don't, and they're all based on hopium, that they'll come in for a 3% move and then sit there while it's down even farther. So again, this is the perfect situation. We came down, we sold at 74.5, it went up, right? When it was down here at 74, it went back up to, what was it, 7793. Now, how many people who were even making that swing trade, that small trade, do you think sold it, or are they still holding it right now? So when we hear the, I'm only going to buy it, or you're going to miss out, what am I missing out on? Please explain to me, what am I missing out on? For everybody who wants to tell me I'm missing out, tell me what I'm missing out on. Because to my knowledge, I had 7,000 XRP when I was at $1.68 when I wholesaled. Today I can still buy 7,200, but I bought $5,000 in silver and gold since then, mostly silver. I went into a personal financial venture that cost me $1,000 out of my portfolio. So there's 6,000. Sent somebody a couple $100 in Bitcoin on here so they could pay for school. Oh, yes, that happened. I just don't talk about it. So there's a little bit more money. Sent a few other people things because they needed help. And I still have 5,500 plus, just a little over it. And I can still buy more XRP than I had before. But I am supposed to long hold and lose out on $5,000 in silver because I'm a holder. I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen. Unless you want to be stuck in the 2020s, 2021, the way of bull markets, don't get caught up with a noose around your neck. Pay attention, understand market setup, because you're going to get absolutely obliterated. Just watch this chart, see how it fills out, and if by some way we make the uptrend, guess who's going to be back in XRP with just as many to ride the run up without any risk of the way down? XRP Future Millionaire. You don't have to be fully invested to be a future millionaire. In fact, the only way to be a future millionaire is if you understand the patterns and you can build up your stack while it's cheap. Right now, even if you miss out on 10 cents, it's still cheap enough to where you can buy the same amount and just add your own money if you have it. If you don't have the money, you shouldn't be trading it. You should be buying precious metals and storing your value. Period. Don't blame somebody else because you don't understand how to properly invest. It's a big game. 99% of people lose. And if you're bitching and moaning and pissing and moaning in my chat all day, you're going to lose. I'm going to win. I've been winning for 3 years. I'll continue to win. And if you can't understand that, you're probably not meant to be in this community. But if you do understand it, stick around because these are very, very in-depth. And today I'm being very, very bold because there's a chance that we can break down so hard today with this meeting that you guys need to get on the right page and stop listening to the FUD. Because if this breaks down, you're all, who's not listening to me, ready? All of you are not going to have a portfolio left to deal with this when we get back into the bull market. Consider that before you run your mouth next time. Let's finish
you raised
this.
the point that, no one's really debating what the Fed's actually going to do in this meeting, but it seems like there could be a lot of focus and noise perhaps from the Fed press conference from Jay Powell at 2:30 on Wednesday, in addition to, as you alluded to, the projection of where future rates could go according to the members of the Fed Policy Setting Committee. How important is it going to be in terms of reading those tea leaves? Because as we know, those forecasts are just that, forecasts, and we're in the middle of a very uncertain geopolitical climate as well.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I think the focus will be on the press conference. Everything else is going to be carefully scripted. And then certainly the update to the Fed's projections will be interesting. We'll have to see if there's any movement in the expected terminal policy rate. But just generally, the Fed's probably going to have to bring down its expectation for real GDP growth this year, but to bring up its expectation for inflation. It had been pretty optimistic on both, looking for like 4% real GDP growth for this year, but inflation really falling quite significantly. We know with these supply side shocks, the tendency will be to keep inflation at elevated levels. It does tend to reduce real growth. So overall nominal GDP won't change much, but the composition changes in an unfavorable way. It puts the Fed sort of in a pickle because it doesn't really allow them to move forward in a less aggressive manner. In fact, the inflation expectations market is telling us that the Fed is falling behind the curve further, and that its credibility, at least in terms of achieving sustained 2% average inflation, is being chipped away.
Michael, I love to talk about nominal GDP, but I feel like we just need to take a big step back and recognize how significant this Fed meeting is going to be. If they do raise interest rates as is expected, that'd be the first time that they would do that in many years, and obviously since the pandemic began. I know that your pup behind you is asleep, but it seems like people who are watching the markets have never been more on edge during this time than they've been headed into Wednesday.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The upheaval of this cycle, the way that we went into it with the pandemic and the unemployment rate shooting from 50-year lows to levels that we have not seen in post-war history in just 2 months, and then a big V-shaped recovery that followed it with now 40-year highs in inflation. It's been quite the whirlwind. So, and also we've had quite a bit of market volatility coming into the year. It had been a long period of time since the S&P 500 had suffered a legitimate correction, and we've certainly had one year to date with the geopolitical.
Real quick, I want to show you guys again, fuel cell. I was telling you guys that you could start puts, start it at when it gets over that support at 627 like I did, buy it all the way up, and before you know it, you're going to be in some big money. And look what's already happening. My puts are for the end of July 15th, I believe, mid-July. And my target level is $2. Well, it doesn't have to get down to 2 levels. It's got $2. And today, once again, now we're down to 552. And like I said, I started those puts from 630 all the way up to just over $7. Today now, my account's over $1,150 worth on these puts, and it keeps going up. The point is if you have a plan, all this red, you're not going to get affected. I'm up so much today, it's disgusting. Percentage-wise. Compared to everybody else trading, because they don't understand how to trade the precious metals. You don't understand how to trade crypto. It's all great to long hold, guys, but make sure you're doing long. You can't buy at $1.60 and say I'm a long holder. That just makes you an idiot. Okay, just stop with that. You guys are insulting yourselves. You're smarter than that. If you're a long holder under $1.75, okay. then keep buying more on the way down. But if you're coming into my channel saying you're a long holder at $1.60 and I'm a moron, you might want to look in the mirror, because I still have all that money, and all that money you just lost from $1.60 that you could have just bought back in. Let's face it, it could be still in your portfolio. I did that, but with the money you lost, I bought several hundred ounces of silver. So let's not act like we're on the same playing field. I understand technicals, and because of that, I have a technical advantage, okay? I would be favored in every single ranking that came out against anybody in my audience if we had the odds, if this was a betting format. Because I know the charts. It'd be like you telling Michael Jordan how to fucking shoot a basketball. You guys have no idea how to read a chart or know how to do a chart or understand the chart like I do, but you're going to tell me that I shouldn't be liquidated or I should be long holding. Tell Michael Jordan he should pass the damn ball. That's the equivalent. So you want me to pass the ball to you so we can lose? I'm sorry, but just like Michael Jordan, I'm a winner and I like championships.
And so we've got a lot of moving parts, in the macro landscape here. And so it makes sense that there's a big focus on this meeting.
What are you going to be listening for in terms of the commentary for future policy moves? Because Jay Powell was very clear in his congressional testimony that 50 basis points would certainly be on the table for future meetings, which gives you a little bit of uncertainty about the cadence by which the Fed is going to tighten this year. Are you expect him to be as clear and forthcoming as he was in the hearing when he actually said just outright, look, I'm going to support 25 basis points in this next meeting, which you really don't hear Fed chairs tend to do?
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, though, with the Fed slipping, the credibility slipping and the Fed falling further behind the curve, here's one way to think about it. Since January, inflation expectations have risen about 75 basis points. So with the policy rate just sitting still, the inflation-adjusted policy rate has fallen by 75 basis points. So a 25 basis point hike on Wednesday only really partially undoes the passive easing that has taken place with rising inflation expectations. So I'll be looking for Fed Chair Powell to address inflation expectations. What is the Fed looking at, and how are they likely to address a potential threat to their credibility?